Yes, I have come. Uh, I have come to a conclusion, a theory, and most of you will probably laugh at this. But anyway, uh, you know David Icke, right? Most of you have heard of David Icke. Yeah, I think he's a very intelligent man. But there was one thing that was always his great, uh, some may say, a proof that he is insane or something like that. But anyway, his theory of the reptile men, uh, who are actually the most powerful men in this world. And yes, of course, it is not easy to believe in that or to take it seriously, even because it sounds so far-fetched, right? You know, come on, like people with faces of reptiles, you know, and stuff, being in charge in the world, you know, and most powerful in banking and you know, finance and politics and all that. But I have read something that today that made me think twice, because I was always all the other theories, or most of them that Icke has come with, they have more or less come true or are about to come true. You know? Yes, that he is he was always, I think, very negative. To say skeptical would be a mild word, but very negative towards EU. And that, of course, in the later years he has been proven right, because, you know, these countries, the poorest countries of Europe, when they joined the EU, they got really nothing. They became just as poor. They remained just as poor or even poorer. Some of them that were not so poor, like Slovenia, for instance, and yeah, Croatia, yeah, and yeah. But anyway, to return to the main point, what am about to say will most likely shock you, but those of you who have seen my video where I talk about the Nephilim, yeah, of course, you know, one of the main theories that David Icke has, the core of his ideology, I mean beliefs, is that there are only a few families in the world who are in charge of everything, who hold all the greatest riches. And they are all from the same area in the Middle East, and they are actually related to each other. Like the, you know, the Rothschilds, and you know, Rockefellers, and you know the names, and well, it just so happens that it was the same area that where the Nephilim and their own fathers, shall I say, or creators, the Grigori or the Watchers came from. And there is something quite extraordinary, isn't it, about the ability of these Jewish bankers and finance men to, grab, just take hold of everything, and control everything. So, you know, uh, single-handedly as they have, as they are doing still. So, what I think actually is that they are actually descended from both the Watchers and the Nephilim. They have some of their genes, some of their DNA, because even though the Bible states that the Nephilim are all destroyed in the Great Flood, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is so, because it is known, almost known, that they have built the Sphinx and some of, or if not all, the pyramids in Egypt. And as far as I know, that happened after the Great Flood. So, yeah, you know what I want to say. But gradually, for some reason, I guess they either, you know, their descendants, because their own gene, the giant gene, became diluted with the normal human gene of the women that they mated with. They became smaller and smaller, I think, in stature, and so they reached a normal human mortal stature and were not giants anymore. And yes, um, I think that they most likely, well, I don't know really when they left Israel, and but I wouldn't say that, if they were so powerful. That is one problem with this theory, is that if they indeed were so powerful, then why did they let themselves be enslaved by the Egyptians and Arabs, and the Romans? But I think that they didn't really. They didn't stay there. They didn't, live in Israel for a long time. They were gone, but then they came back. That's my theory. And then they went to Europe, or maybe they went to Europe, long ago, like 2,000 years ago, something. That's quite possible, I think, or 1,500 years ago, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, and another thing, why I brought up David Icke's reptilian people theory, is that these people that were said to be an offspring of the the Watchers, they were said to have or I'm sorry, the Nephilim, they were said to have reptilian faces and white hair. And let me just find that link. It was very interesting. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. I recommend you to read this book. It's by Andrew Collins. It's called From the Ashes of Angels, The Forbidden Legacy of Fallen Race. Yeah, says that yeah, he says Andrew Collins reveals that these angels, demons, and fallen angels were flesh and blood members of a race predating our own. He offers evidence that they lived in Egypt prior to the ancient Egyptians, where they built the Sphinx and other megalithic monuments. Before leaving the region for what is now eastern Turkey, following the cataclysms that accompanied the last ice age. Here they lived in isolation before gradually establishing contact with developing human society. And they were described as tall, white-haired beings with viper-like faces and burning eyes, as gods in their own paradise, wherein grew the tree of the knowledge. Yeah, and Eastern Turkey and Kurdistan is often stated to be where the Garden of Eden lay. So yes, it is very interesting. Yeah, it's a shame. I think that this stuff doesn't get more coverage in the medias like the National Geographic and all these scientifical great media. And yes, it's so it seems these people actually they were people in a way. They were superior to us, and they lived in the world before us actually. So they were more intelligent and everything, more powerful, and they went to eastern Turkey. Yes, and that is actually where today's Armenia once was part of it anyway, which was later taken by the Turks. And this all is connected to Noah as well, because where his ark landed. It was in Ararat, in eastern Turkey. So it's really puzzling. And actually, Noah is, as I said in the previous video about this, he is actually described as a giant, and that is an ambiguous uh, an ambiguous quote actually, because it is not clarified if he was just a really big man of gigantic stature or if he was actually a Nephilim. So there are obviously similarities between the Armenians and the Jews because they also share some of the same faith. The Armenians were, of course, persecuted by the Ottoman Turks, and many of them were killed. While the same happened to Jews, and while only on more occasions or longer, and it is obvious that there was a reason because the other races of men just couldn't live together with them peacefully for some reason. And that reason may be that they were different than them, simply a different race of men, and that is a law of nature, like when you put a lion and a tiger together in the same cage, of course they are going to fight, or whatever. If you put dog and a wolf or a hyena together, they're not gonna, get along, of course. So it may sound banal, but it's just a law of nature. There must be a reason why so many different people in different countries, in different nations, don't like the Jews at all. It's not just because they are so rich and capable and all that. I don't think so. So anyway, my theory is that these people may be, these great families, the Jewish families in USA, uh, may have been descended from these so-called fallen angels, may be descended from them, because you know to be so capable in controlling the finances of across in an entire world, that's really, that's uncanny, and it doesn't seem to be like something a normal man, normal human would be able to do. So yes, I do believe in this. Yeah, and actually, it's interesting in the book that I read by David Icke. He also says that a girl had a sort of hallucination where she saw George W. Bush in as with a head of a reptile. So he's not Jewish. Who knows? Yeah, that was. One has to search for the truth.